Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday morning. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Thursday morning, guys. So, guys, in this recording, I want to speak to you guys in regards to birthing pains. Birthing pains. So, a lot of chosen ones are experiencing a spiritual heaviness right now, and you can't even put it into words almost because it's a feeling, and there's nothing really physical that's pressing at you. It's not like you're in job loss, and some people may be, but it's not like you're in job loss. It's not like there's really nothing. It doesn't feel like depression, right? But it's a heaviness. It's a spiritual heaviness. A lot of times during these times, before major elevation and major shifts and major open doors, major destiny helpers arriving to you, there's something just happens spiritually. And I'm sure part of it is, of course, the demonic realm not wanting you to receive what God has for you. So there's a heaviness to the point where if you're not careful, it can get so intense that you will feel like tapping out. You feel weary. Now, those of you who've been on this journey for some time and you've experienced different shifts, right? Level to level, glory to glory. You've experienced shift. Even though it's a heaviness, it feels kind of motivating because you know what this heaviness typically indicates. You know what it feels like when a shift is on the way. Now, do we always know when? Absolutely not. But spiritually, we can feel it. We just know that it's any day now, it's any time now. So we have a certain staying power that someone who may just have answered the call is trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Maybe they just recently answered the call, so now they're in their season of isolation where God have removed people, places, and things. And honey, they're trying to figure out what is going on. They feel lost in the ocean all by themselves. They're trying to go back and fight like wild cats to go back and get the very people, places, and things that God has removed. But honey, let me tell you something. Once you get to those kind of seasons, once you answer that call, you can attempt to go. I'm having a flashback. Whew, I'm not laughing at you guys, but I'm having a flashback because when you just answer that call, honey, and you don't know what God is doing and he just stripped you of everything, honey, you can try to go back to the very people, places, and things that God has removed, but God have not only closed those doors, he have locked those doors. You can bang on it all you want. Those doors will remain closed. But what makes it so difficult is because you don't know what's next. You don't even know what you're working towards. You just know that God have placed you in this isolation season. But my chosen ones, before elevation, right? If you're currently in a isolation season, right? God have just you're all by yourself, honey, right? Which typically is going to be the life of the chosen one many seasons, more so less than not. Then you go through a transformation season where he can transform you in order to handle your blessings in the third season, due season, right? Stay the course. It's very heavy. It can be very dark. Stay the course. During these seasons, you have to be very, very careful about allowing other people to pull from you. You have to be, and this is for the newbies or, you know, you have to be very, very careful about allowing people to pull from you because when you're in that kind of season and you're spiritually depleted, right? Whatever little energy that you have to reserve that because I'm telling you, I am one of the most determined people that I know. Like seriously, like if God says it's mine, it's mine. I don't care what man says. If I got to crawl to get it, if I got to get knocked down to get it, I got to get back up 35,000 times. I'm going to get it, point blank, period. Right? I'm a very, very determined person. So I say that to say if a determined person can get to the point where now we're not crazy, right? Chosen ones are not crazy. We can feel like tapping out, but we ain't gonna tap out, right? It's a feeling. So the point I'm trying to make is that if very determined people can have that feeling, then that tells you that you have to be very, very careful. If you don't have like that type of mindset, it will be very, very easy to give up. But we don't do that. We don't do that, chosen ones. We don't give up. I don't care what we feel. We don't give up. And we don't even speak those words. My God, my God, my God. Honey, a red bird, literally. I have my door open. And a red bird is literally, oh my God. Child, let me just, woo. I've lost my train of thought. So guys, one important thing to do is to be sure we, chosen ones, do not make major decisions during this time. Because here's why. When this feeling that we got, it feels like everything is the problem. It feels like your man is the problem. He getting on your nerve. I gotta get rid of you. Right? Feels like your woman is the problem. Feel like your job is the problem. It feels like the kids are the problem. You ready to trade your kids in? It feels like everything is the problem. And truth of the matter is, none of those things are the problem, because you can deal with those things when you're spiritually filled, right? And when you're not depleted. Even though those things get on your nerve, that you can deal with it. There's a grace to deal with it. So don't make any major decisions, right? It's just how, what's the saying? Don't make permanent decisions on temporary emotions. I think that's the saying, right? So just stay the course. Ask God for staying power, right? Do not give up. Do we know when the shift is going to happen? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But for me, shifts have happened when I wasn't thinking about it. It's like when I was trying to go get it, it's like there's some kind of block, right? You know it's yours, right? Especially my visionaries fight with this a lot because you see it, right? So when you try to go get it, when you're trying to beat the door down, nothing happens. For me, the shifts happen typically where you finally surrender and just say, God, your timing. And literally it happens, boom, overnight, when you're not thinking about it, when you finally surrender. But if you are in right now, I'm kind of speaking for everybody, but definitely to the newbies who just answered your call. It is almost human nature to fight against the current, because again, you really don't know what God is doing. Like people who've already been shifted from level to level at some point, even though this heaviness is not the best feeling, you're kind of motivated because you kind of already know something's coming, like an open door is coming, a destiny helper is coming. Like you're familiar with this feeling. But for somebody who's just answering their call and they don't know what in the world is going on, like you're not. So, but guys, stay the course. Ask for staying power. Again, please, boundaries is crucial. You can't have people pulling from you. Any of us really. Right? Unless because if God calls you to them, there's going to be a grace, there's going to be an ease. But I'm speaking about more or less maybe toxic people, or just people who are just refusing to put the work in, people who are trying to make you their God instead of really putting that work in. You have to be very careful right now about allowing people to pull from you, especially if it's surface level foolishness. Their man have now cheated for the 57th time this week. And you've already given them whatever advice they asked you for, honey, and their child. Please don't call my phone that foolishness. Please don't call. 10 years ago, I could sit up on this phone and talk to you 24 hours about your cheating man, honey, or about whatever issues you got, toxic issues you got going on, right? Please don't call my phone that foolishness. Not right now. Not right now. Right? We're trying to stay tapped in over here. Not right now. We got to hear these instructions, right? We got to receive some insights. We have to receive these strategic downloads to shift this way and move that way, because Satan's trying to block it this way. We're too tapped in right now for any foolishness. So guys, I just wanted to share that again. Many of us are going through birthing pains. Again, we can't really describe it in a physical, fleshly way, because it's a spiritual feeling. It's almost like a Mack truck is sitting on you spiritually, right? But there's grace. There's grace to push through every day. Now, I'm thinking far too, listen, Thinking too, if you're like me, you're thinking too far ahead, you're thinking about tomorrow or next week, honey, it's going to stress you out. There's grace to stay in today. To stay in today, right? You'll have grace to have staying power tomorrow, but don't think too far ahead. Don't make any major decisions right now unless God is requiring that and you know that you know that you know, but not because something's getting on your nerve and that your emotions are all over the place and that you're depleted. Don't make any major decisions. Because the enemy is going to try to really get you. Because remember now, in order for us to receive things, we have to be in a proper alignment. So the enemy is going to have you try to pivot a certain way just for you to not be in alignment, just for you to remove a certain person, right? Listen, this thing can get so deep that the enemy will start dropping demonic lies, right? Downloads in your spirit about a person. Now, you're side-eyeing the very person that God needs to be in your life for a specific reason, for a specific alignment, who's going to give you a specific word, who's going to open a specific door. The enemy got you thinking all kind of foolishness. Now you done cut somebody off. Now you're out of alignment completely, right? This thing is serious. This thing is deep, right? Especially my chosen ones who've already advanced some levels. We got a lot of more levels, right? But you know how this thing works. Why do you think a lot of the times when we advance to certain levels, we're by ourselves? And I mean, you can have a whole family, but you're still by yourself. Because there's so many different strategies that the demonic realm try to do, but God will always give you strategic. God is very strategic. This is why those of you who are pig-headed and you... Tell me why. A vision literally just popped in my head of a whole human standing in front of me who literally have a big, like a pig head, a real live pig, a pig head on their neck. And it won't get out of my vision. Who? Oh my God. Y'all, I'm still seeing this pig. He won't move. Whew. Okay. I got tears coming down my eyes. Some of you guys who are pig-headed and you're stubborn and you're stiff-necked, honey, right? Like, you don't want to pivot because, listen, you got to know how to pivot. I don't care how determined you are. You got to be fluid in the spiritual realm, honey, because in certain ways that the enemy could then get a hold of something, you done say something, you done talk on something, right? Now the enemy is blocking it this way. God's trying to give you a strategic way. God is saying move this way. And you're like, no, God, but you told me last year I got to do it this way. You got to be fluid, honey. You got to know that you know that you know. Because the enemy is very, very strategic, but God is most strategic. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.